Great.
Good night again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kendall Henry from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Tonight, window will be on game management. My partner for this window will be Mr. Norval Young, that will be doing a presentation on game management as well. Tonight, you will be seeing a short PowerPoint presentation along with 3 videos that the NCAA that, has put out surrounding game management and emphasizing and the importance of game management in the game of basketball. As I said, tomorrow we will be going over coaches, referees, and players' relationships. I've invited the Virgin Islands junior and senior national coach, Mr. Jareem Dowlin. He also is a NCAA Division I assistant coach. So he will be on the live tomorrow to share his insights when it comes to players and coaches' relationships with referees. Today, I will be going over game management. Game management, like I said, it's very important, an important tool that referees is going to use on a lot of basis. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. Oh, share screen first.
What's up?
Okay, great. And before I begin, I've been officiating close to 20 years now, and having a opportunity to speak to fellow officials across the Caribbean, and I know Freddie could tell you this. I know they have a lot of active former referees on the live, and they can tell you that this is a dream come true. Not only for the CBC, not only for FIBA, but us as referees, because to have an opportunity to communicate over, the web, and having conversations like we do is very important, very, very important for our game, and our region, because, the CBC is, although we're a big region, we're very small in numbers when it comes to FIBA officials, because FIBA officials in the Caribbean is totally different from FIBA officials in North America, in Central America, and in South America. So in having this platform, it's really, really supportive to our initiative in being a better referee. So game management, presented by Kendall Henry and Norval Young. The focus to be a good, successful official is your game management or your people skills. Now, I'm going to just elaborate on each point. Now, to have a good people skills, your communication has to be at a high level. You can't be coming into being an official and not want to communicate with the players, not want to communicate with the coaches, So having good people skills, or a person with good people skills, will really excel as a real successful referee. And those that don't have it will have to build themselves into that person skills that we're looking for in FIBA. How well you handle disagreements between people involved in the game, early stages, will have a direct impact on stopping those situations from escalating. Now, if you put a stop to it from early on in the game and not wait till the fourth quarter to say, call a technical foul, and you do it early in the game, that's you setting that tempo. That's you setting that precedent that I am here to officiate the game, and these are my guidelines. These are the guidelines that we're going to follow for the structure of the game. And it's important, it's always important to make sure you put those limitations early, because as the game go on, as the game get tighter, you want to make sure that you have the game under control, part of your game management. Officials and their ability to handle people in a respectable manner. You earn respect by giving respect. Now, again, like I said, sometimes it's very difficult for us to actually, give that respect, being that if coaches come to you, coaches and players come to you in a disrespectful manner. But we as officials are at a higher place right now that we have to either compose ourselves and still show that respect, still show that respect to the coaches, to the players, because we would like it in advance, but yet at that moment, because we have to realize emotions is a part of the game, and in my experience, in dealing with coaches and players, a player might blow up on you for a minute, you don't give them a technical foul, but later on in the game, that player may come back to you and talk to you or apologize and say, well, ref, I was just kind of hot at that moment and I apologize. And that's building a relationship. We'll definitely talk about it more tomorrow. An important part of officiating is good communication. Good communication with your teammates on the court and also with the table officials. You don't see it much at the FIBA competitions, but I know home and on all of our islands, we have problems with our table officials. And sometimes, we're officiating, but yet we're called more than once, more than twice to fix a problem at the table. So that's why we have to have that level of communication so we can go to the table and still communicate, because the table officials are a part of our team. Communication with your partner and others is a range of ways which includes voice, communicating, decision, and ruling. All of these are a package. All of these comes together in one when you talk about good communication. Good communication. Body language. Body language. Your body language tells a lot. Your body language tells a lot after a call. Your facial expression when you come to a table. Your body language when you're talking to a coach. I had to learn that early on in my career, because I was my body language was all over the place. I will make a call and a coach is waiting for me, and I don't have an angry look on my face. And it's something that I'm still working on, but I had to work. It's an ongoing process. But as an official, we have to maintain our body language from the beginning to the end of the game. It's very, very important for our communication skills. Voice is used by the official in a range of settings. The tone of your voice is an important tool. And why it says it's an important tool, because especially when you're communicating with the players, communicating with the coach, when you're talking to the players in the post, you're telling those players, watch the hands, watch the hands, watch the hands. You're talking to the post players or offensive player who's in the key, for 2.5 seconds, you're telling them to get out the zone, We're in the videos after this little presentation, in the video, when I put it up, you're gonna see where the referees actually talk about this area. It's better to use your preventive officiating skills to talk to players, and that's where your good people skills comes in. Be firm. Deal with behavior from firmly and quickly. set boundaries in a professional and respectable manner. You have to set those boundaries. And I said it earlier, you have to set it early as the game begins. You have to set those rules and regulations, what you're going to allow, what you're not going to allow, because we cannot wait till the game comes in the last 3 seconds to decide to give a player or a coach a technical foul where he was going on like that the entire game. So we have to manage. Yes, we have the tools. You know, we as officials have all the tools that we need to conduct a game, but it's how we use it. We have to use it to better the game, not to better ourselves. You know, we are serving the game. And once we get that grasp that we are here to serve the game, I think overall, we will be better officials. Remember that 90% of conflict occurs not because of what you said, but in the tone and manner in which you say it. So you always have to watch what you say. You know, we always have to watch what you say. You know, coaches, like I said, yes, we as an official we are emotional too, because we're in the game. You know, players are emotional and coaches are emotional. But like I said, we have to maintain that level of professionalism from the beginning to the end of the game, regardless of the approach. You know, coaches like to use, you know, referees are unapproachable. You know, sometimes we put up that wall, and sometimes I do it too. Sometimes we put up that wall to avoid conflict. You know, but by walking away from the coach and not giving him an answer to the situation, you know, you make the situation hard. You make it more challenging. So again, like I said, from the beginning to the end, we have to maintain that level of professionalism. And like I said, this was a very, very short presentation. I really don't have a lot to say about game management, but as we go into the video and as Mr. Young comes in with his presentation, we will definitely go more into that. So what I will do is I will, like we have been doing, I will take the link and post the link into the group so we could have an opportunity to watch it. And I will try to share my screen so those of you who is still on could watch the video as well. So before we go on to that, does anyone have any questions about what we just went through? Okay, hearing none. So I'm going to put the link into so I just share the link. Share screen.
These are creatures of habit because they do it every single day. They do the exact same thing, and they believe that they get to a game situation, and if everything is going smooth throughout the day, then they know that they're going to have a good game. They get up at a certain time every single day. Normally it's the same time. All their flights are probably within 30 minutes every single day.
My daily routine is I take the first flight of the morning. That allows me to have backups in the event of off-schedule operations with the airlines.
They want to make sure they get there so they don't have any stress. They don't want to miss their workout. They don't want to miss lunch. They don't want to miss their nap.
When you get to the hotel, you get yourself in a room, If guys are in the same place, they'll usually get together for lunch. Then after lunch, you go back to your room, get a nap.
You want to make sure you're getting the proper rest as much as you can, especially, as I said, when you're doing 3, 4, and 5 games a week. So I think that's one of the major reasons why guys have a routine, because of that factor alone. It's important that we get our rest so we can be mentally focused once the ball is thrown up.
Sweet home. I get to the town, and we'll either pick up my rental car or get a hotel shuttle to the property, hoping that my room is ready for me early in the morning. Then I'll get myself unpacked and settled, try to get some exercise.
Our guys work out all the time. It's of utmost importance for them to be in great shape, because they know that if they're in shape, they're going to get through a season.
As we age and get older, you know, the one thing that never changes is the kids every year stay 18 to 22. It's important for me to maintain a physical regimen 12 months a year.
You know, I'm not 19 or 20 anymore, so I push myself. I want to still look like an athlete. I want to run like an athlete. I want to stay in shape. I got to do whatever I possibly can to keep up with these guys. So, but it's a challenge every night. Well, when I started 21 years ago, there was no film study, nothing like it is now. Now Brian Kersey, after the game, he's sending us 4 and 5 plays from the game to look at. We have it on our iPad instantly.
Daily film study makes our referees better. It lets them see their positioning, it lets them see their body language, it lets them see where they are when they make a foul call on the floor, if they have a straight line look or if they have an open look.
Well, with the film doesn't lie. It's going to tell you the truth. And so in reviewing the game film, that allows us to see areas of opportunity, whether it's positioning, whether it's call selectivity, whether it's letting the play start, develop, and finish. But the video doesn't lie, so it's a great tool to help enhance our performance.
You know, for 4.5 months, this is like our job. You hear the perception sometimes, oh, they referee a game and then they just move on to the next game. Well, we do, just like everyone else moves on to the next day at their job. But you take, you know, the lessons you've learned from the previous day, good or bad, and you try to learn and build on them.
Thanks, guys. Off to the airport to catch a 5 a.m. flight. Take care.
Did everyone have an opportunity to see the video? Okay, I guess I'll wait a couple more seconds. Okay, that video primarily shows you the routine that the referees have, and that it's important to develop a routine. I know in the video they talk about refereeing in 5 or 6 days. In FIBA competition, most competitions are 5 days long. When you go to the World Championship, it's about 10 days long with a 1-day break in between. So developing a routine when going to a tournament, even when you do your games locally, you know, is very important. And as it mentioned, to keep you in shape, to stay in shape, to maintain being an athlete from the beginning to the end is very, very important. The other 2 videos will touch more based on game management. So I will share the link once again, and then There is the link. I'm gonna share my screen.
In your post, we all right? I'm trying to let you play. I am an over-communicator. I probably talk more in the ACC than any other official, but I use that to my advantage. This way, 5. Oh, no, it's fine.
A lot of times you'll see our guys talking to coaches. That's a huge game management skill that they have, because coaches have questions, and if we treat them with any kind of disrespect or we walk away from them, then that's going to create a problem later down the road.
I looked at the play, all right? There's a little bump there, but I wouldn't go down there. I just want him to know. Yeah, it looked ugly. I just took a look to make sure.
I have felt all along that the relationship that you have with the coaches is the utmost importance.
Hold on, listen. Look, and I was right on the call.
I trust you.
Okay, all right. Hey, it's their ball.
For me, I think the biggest thing with communication is listening. And I tell younger officials, you got to listen.
Holy mackerel. Holy mackerel. Wow.
If we can take care of dealing with them, talking to them, listening to them, which is some referees have the hardest part of, is just listening, then we can take our game management to a different level.
Number 1, come through on the dot. He went through him, Roy. He went through him. You know, the coaches are grown men that are dependent on wins and losses. So it's important to communicate with them, keep everything professional.
The bigs are all they're doing is eating up space, knocking it around a little bit. We're not that big, so they're just looking all around.
Okay.
I don't got a problem with that call.
Okay.
But
I'll watch it.
We getting calls in the paint on our bigs, blocking out or this way.
Those are good points. I'll watch it. All right.
The relationship you have with the coaches and the trust factor that they have in you gets you by when, say, for instance, you have a call that goes against them. Maybe they treat you a little differently in the things they say and their response to your call versus someone that they have a little less trust in.
I want the coaches to be as comfortable as they can. So they're just worried about coaching their kids. They're not worrying about us. You know, the games are hard enough as they are.
Usually, after you've been around a while, most coaches know what I'm going to call, what I'm not going to call. They know what they can say to me, what they can't say to me. But the one thing is communication. As long as you communicate with coaches, that's huge. And players, I'm a big talker in the ACC. I like to talk to players. I like to communicate with players. Can I say something? You of all people. Don't flop. It's a flop. No contact. It's a flop, if anything. Things happen on the floor that even the three of us out there, we may not see. So any information they can give me to help me officiate the game, the better.
Can I talk to you? When he's trying to cut, you're all up in him like this. And you got to get it. When they do, I will get it. I will get it. All right. Hold that.
This game is about those young men out there. So when you have conversations with them, you know, you want to make them feel at ease, but you want to let them know that, hey, I'm not always right. Come and tell me what you saw. I'll tell you what I had, and then bang, everything flows a lot better. So you don't want them to have to worry about officiating.
Right here. Stop. Cozy. They get hooked up, right? And then he throws in the last thing. You got to take that up. There's a reason they call them 5 starters, because those are usually the 5 best players or the 5 players that gives the team the best chance to win. So I try to ensure that I'm communicating with those players to give them a fair opportunity to make adjustments, because I believe communication with both the coaches and the players bring a better game. Hey, just don't lean on me. I got just if he knocks the crap out of you, just let me see that, all right?
Great video. Let me know when everyone has had an opportunity to watch the entire video. If you can respond in the group chat, that would be wonderful. Okay, as we move on, like I said, we'll be watching one more video. One more video. After this video, I will be opening up for more of a group discussion about the last video that we're going to be watching. Okay, I have a comment in the group. Thanks for your comment, by the way. The distance between the table officials and the referees to give the signal is far. Something that has been changing for the past couple years that I have known when I attend tournaments is that sometimes, depending on the supervisor, they don't want you to run. It's not traditional anymore to run all the way to like the jump circle. What they tell you sometimes is make sure you have a clear view of the table. And once you have that clear view and players is not obstructing your vision or the vision of the table official, you could give your signal. And the reason why they give that recommendation is so the game could kind of progress faster. So you have an easier way when instead of you running to the table and come back, you know, you're right there in that particular area, so you can switch from one area straight to your new position. So that's why sometimes when you see officials maybe right by the 3-point line or be right by the free throw line, they give the signal because they have a clear view with no interruption. So like I said, we're gonna show one more video, and after this video, I'm gonna open for questions, discussions, recommendations. Your views and game management varies. Like I said, all of these pointers that I have been making, they're not in any rule book. They come straight from experience, and we all have various experience that we can learn from the first-year referee to the 20-year referee. We're always learning. We're always learning. So the last video.
This will be a spot throw-in. He gets it into Robinson. Robinson is hacked.
Red 10! It's a hold! 2 shots!
That'll be his third foul.
Call the obvious. And when we call the obvious, that means that the person at the top of the arena goes, that was a foul. People want to see the players play basketball. They don't want to see a game that's, you know, a bunch of fouls.
We stress to all of our guys to talk to players, talk to post-play early in the game when it's getting rough, to try and talk them to just loosen up and get out of fouls. Let them know what limits we're going to give them.
You good? Okay, guys, relax. I'll be right there. 2 shots. What happened? Okay, I'm outside, but I'll watch, all right? I'll try to talk to players early in the game. If they're in the lane for 3 seconds or borderline 3 seconds, anyone can blow the whistle and say 3-second call. I'm like, get out of the lane. Get out of the lane. Get out!
Easy, easy, fellas, easy. And then they know because you're 5, 6, 8, 10 feet away. They know you're talking to them, so they kind of ease up.
No hands, no hands.
If there are a lot of violations of the rules, then we do what we have to do, and let's blow the whistle. But if I can talk to one of the players and tell him, hey, last trip down, you were close on an illegal screen. You got to come to a complete stop.
Hey, don't get nothing cheap. Go straight in. All right, go straight in. Here we go.
Instead of putting the second or third foul on the best player for a hand check, I may say, watch your hands, get your hands. I give them an opportunity to back off.
No hand, no hand, no hand.
So where a play may be starting to escalate in the post, you say something, it brings it back down, keeps the game flowing, so there's not a foul.
Didn't you take a charge down there? No, one of you guys just took one similar type play like that.
If I can get near the coach and say, hey, look, I just told number 15, watch his screens, then at that point, everybody's on the same page. So if I have to blow the whistle, then they say, hey, we've been warned about that.
One of the things that was told to me early in my career, only blow the whistle when you're right. If it's not right and you don't see what you think you see, don't blow what you don't think you see, blow what you see.
Missed calls are hard. It's hard on the referee. They know when they miss it. They have to learn from that mistake. It's rare that you see one of our guys miss the same play twice. Experience pays off.
When you know you're wrong on a play, there's nothing wrong with telling the coach, I missed that play.
Most coaches realize, you know what, it takes a man to say, I just missed this play, when everybody in this arena is booing me and screaming and cussing at me, and I went over and said I missed the play. We know. Officials know when you miss a call.
Just turn around. I'm not going to make a big deal, but that's all he did.
I got it. Okay. If that's what happened, then that's a bad.
He didn't do any of this.
That's a turnover on my part. That's all he did.
If you go over there and you've missed a play and you try to give him some bogus excuse, oh my God, you've lit up a hornet's nest.
No official out there has ever worked a perfect game. So if you're going to work at this level of college basketball, you got to have thick skin. You got to move on. You got to realize you're going to make mistakes. And I'm still looking for the perfect game. When I get it, I'll walk away and retire.
21. That's 21. It's illegal screen that way. Kevin, it's obvious.
So that was a lengthy video. So let's give everyone an opportunity to look at it. If you're finished looking at it, you can let me know by answering in a group chat or putting a thumbs up on your screen. So we just was looking at 3 videos. We're gonna just talk about the last one, and then we're gonna progress. If you have any other questions about the other 2 or about the PowerPoint presentation, we could definitely discuss at this time. So this time is like a kind of open mic question time. My favorite time of any presentation, because you know you're coming to the end. First of all, in that video, the first thing they tell you is to call the obvious. It's very, very important for your game to call the obvious. You know, we're not on the court to be looking for got you calls. You know, we're not there on the court to be looking in between the seams of the game for something to call. You know, we don't want to interfere in the game, but we want to intervene when the time is correct. And that's why staying in your area as an official is very important. regardless of what everyone may see, but you know you have trust in your partner to hold on to his area, you hold on to yours, and you know you staying in your area is vital to your game and the success of the team. And another thing the video mentioned is talking to the post players. I don't see that much. I don't see it as much as I would like to see it. But I do it a lot. I talk to the post players a lot, you know, tell them when to get their hands off. You know, it's very important. Players will appreciate that coming from an official because you're officiating the game. You're the one that making the call. So you should be able to talk to the players. And as you see in the video, you know, as you see in the video, both sides, referee and players, was respectable to each other. You know, the referees was approachable. The players was open and receptive to comments from the referee. Because like I said, you know, getting it from the referee directly is very important because it's the referee's view. You're going based on the referee's view, you know, not based on the player's view. The referee's view is what determines the call. So if the referee is in a great position and he's on the ball, he's going to make the call. If he's off the ball, if he's opposite table, if he's opposite, and he doesn't see, he cannot make the call. You know, again, talk to players, talk to coaches. You know, use that people skill, use your communication skills. You know, it's very important. You know, although you know at this job, at this level, you know, and I'm talking not just on the FIBA level because, you know, at the local level as well. You know, taking a lot of what we learn in these sessions and applying it at our local leagues and a lot of our school games is very important, not just waiting till you become a FIBA referee or go to an international tournament. You know, these scenarios may pop up at any given time, and it's very, very important to jump in. See the whole play. Seeing the whole play. Something that we don't do a lot. You know, we like to call the quick foul. We don't like to hear that delay whistle. I think my partner, I think Freddie Brown partner, my partner is on the line, Clement Heiliger, who always have a delay whistle regardless of, you know, and it's a great delay whistle, you know, so, you know, so having that delay whistle means that you actually have an opportunity to see the play. There's no rush. There's no rush when making a call. Any call. It could be a traveling, it could be a double dribble, it could be a 3 seconds. Any call. Take your time. Take your time and see the play. See the play, you know. Sometimes, you know, it's so funny because when we rush to blow the whistle, it shows in our signal. You know, it shows in our signal because sometimes our signals are not as clear as it needs to be because we're rushing. We're not sure about it, you know. And as I said, somebody put in the group chat as well, you know, blow your whistle when you are correct, when you're right, you know, when you're right. And, you know, so I think on the technical foul session, you know, someone discussed about, you know, when the referee is wrong on a play and the referee don't want to admit it or knows that he was wrong, and the coaches, the coach, you know, go off, as we like to say, you know, and then we give a technical foul. You know, that doesn't go hand in hand in it, you know. You know you're wrong, and as we saw in the video, communication with the coaches, you'll get a lot more respect from coaches if you could be honest. When you go to them and say, Coach, hey, Coach, that last play, that was my bad. That was my bad, but I won't miss it again. I won't miss it again. Next time I come down the court, I'll be looking for it. And it also says in the video, with experience, missing a call, it will not happen twice. It shouldn't happen twice because with experience, it comes. It comes. It may catch you once, but it's not going to catch you again. It's not going to catch you again. Okay? Talking about your mistakes. You know, that's something that referees don't like to do. You know, referees don't like to admit when they're wrong. You know, but it's a part of the game. You know, making a mistake, it's a part of the game. You know, and once you can admit to making a mistake, it will gravitate and your game will open wide, because nowadays days they have video and video don't lie. Video doesn't lie. So the best time, the best thing for you to do is admit it early, because when you pull out the videotape or after the game and the game video session, and tomorrow you have to go to that coach and say, coach, you know, you was right. And coaches appreciate that. Coaches appreciate that, you know. So, you know, let's be transparent. It's great to be transparent because, you know, coaches hold a lot of wealth of information, and so do referees hold a lot of wealth of information. So, you know, if we can come to a common ground and we can definitely share these information that we have, will definitely solve the game how it deserves to be served. I see a message. Yeah, definitely, Jillian. Mistakes helps you to grow, and it also prepares you to for opportunities, you know, because once you can admit those mistakes early, you know, it really opens the window, you know, and being a young referee and being open, you know, like I explain to people all the time, when I started to officiate, I told you I was blessed because I had 3 other FIBA referees here in the Virgin Islands that I could have turned to. So I had that core of a group of FIBA officials that I could have speak to at any given time, and get information, and also, you know, share information, and being a student at the game. You know, Frederick will always say, you know, being a student at the game is very, very important, and something that referees should not lack, because we should always be in communication with each other, talking about the rules, talking about, you know, game management, you know, talking about situations that happen in each other districts. You know, not because if it happened in the Bahamas, it's not going to happen in the Virgin Islands. It happens, you know, and it also helps us as a community, because we are a basketball community and we need to look out for each other. So right now I'm going to open it up for any questions about game management, about the videos that we just saw. So anyone have any questions? You guys making me feel that I'm great.
Kendall, you did such a wonderful job. I guess I don't know, but what you have a number of persons there in the audience who are intricately involved in basketball in their basketball community.
Yes.
Folks, do not be afraid to weigh in on the conversation of game management. All right, and it did say game management. Don't have to be just refereeing or the whole of game approach to management. It could be, hey, how do you manage fights? How do you manage X amount of fouls within a stop clock period? Any number of things you can really bring to the table and say, listen, yeah, this is what I do in order to have a good game. I find out that when I speak to people this way, or when I behave in this manner, I normally would have a good game, or if I do this, things normally go south. You can bring your take to the game, people. It isn't just, it's a personal experience,
Definitely,
believe me.
definitely.
Yeah, and so.
And to just to highlight that, one of the points that you made, Freddie, about how do you manage a fight? You know, I learned that is very, very important. You know, for example, in 3-person officiating and being the outside referee, you know, after a hard foul or even after a controversial foul, it's important to get in there. It's important for players to see that uniform. It's important because from my experience, I tell you, when I used to go in to get between players, as players see the referee present, 90% of the time, everything calms down.
Yep.
Everything calms down. But if you linger back as an official, then things escalate. You have to show your presence. You have to, as an official, you know, and the next point that you talk about is fouls. Managing the fouls. How do you know, but that's a part of your game. That's a part of your game management, you know. If you're somebody like I said, Champ, you know, after every quarter, Champ goes to the table and he looks at the fouls, at the team fouls, at the player fouls, at the star players. He looks at the fouls and that's how he manages his selection. Now it's not a give and take. It's not a give and take, but it's just to manage that last foul for the captain is not a ticky-tack foul. And all game, we're calling hard fouls. So again, it's about managing and how you deliver that managing skills.
Now I see a lot of people are writing in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you have a question
Folks,
here.
please get out there and come out and start speaking. When you just write a few words, you're going to limit yourself and you're not going to critically think. So we're inviting you to come out and speak, as opposed to just putting out the question there, as opposed to us just pushing the information on you. We want to pull information from you and see how you manage and how you conduct yourself during a game. So don't be afraid. Ease up with the typing of the of information or just typing for a question to be answered. Yes. Come weigh in on the conversation and say, listen here, I've been challenged with this in a game. I have a challenge with managing too unreasonable coach. All right, every time these guys reach, they either run against each other or they have it out with the referees. I find that when I do this, it doesn't work. How do you, people, we want you to come and start speaking. All right?
I see someone
yes, please, come, join.
I see someone have a question, so I'm going to ask them to unmute their mic and they could talk up.
Yeah, man. Come, start speaking, people. This is what refereeing is all about.
Oh, sorry about that. Unmute again.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Gary Yana here from the Bahamas. The question I asked inside the chat is, after, let's say you and the coach does not see your call eye to eye. You've already explained to him what has happened and he's upset with you. So you have the proper game management, but you have to give him a technical foul. So after you've already administered the technical foul, you don't want, the coach is still unruly, but gameplay still continues. So as far as game management is concerned, should another referee now go and speak to the coach to try to calm him down versus you adding to the fire per se, even though you're trying to calm him down as well, but he's not seeing you eye to eye?
Yeah. Right? Well, you know, that goes back. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning of your nomination. When you get that nomination, and you start that pre-game conference with your team, talking about coaches and the way how you're going to handle coaches and benches should be a part of that pre-game. And in that particular situation, if you're talking to a coach and you see you're not getting through to that coach, I think one of your counterparts, you know, because you should be able to step away, and one of your counterparts should either to be stepped in and give relief and give more clarity to that coach, because, you know, we don't want to give technical fouls out like it's raining technicals, but yet it's a tool that we have to use. And if coaches get out of line, if coaches get rude and unruly, then yes, the technical foul is dissolved. But again, our first approach should be to talk and to have a conversation with that coach before. The technical foul is the last resort. The technical foul is the last resort. As our referee supervisor, Geraldo Fontana, likes to say, if you use a technical foul, that means it's out of control. It's out of control. So use the technical fouls wisely, and yeah, use it very, very wisely. But that was a great question. Frederick, you want to add? Freddie? Anyone? Well, I guess he's doing something. Anyone have any more questions? As I said, the floor is open. Somebody was coming on just now. So again, if no one have any more questions, I like to, unable. Oh, sorry, Vanessa, I'm gonna unmute you now. Sorry. Go ahead, Vanessa. You have to unmute. Okay.
I was just going back to one of the first points you made in terms of communication. For me personally, I find it is very, very, it's extremely helpful actually. It actually allows my game to flow and to run without incident at times. At the local level, well, at the international level, as you would know, it's kind of ticklish, especially if you don't speak the language, that kind of thing. But then at the local level, when you can talk to the players and everybody knows everybody, so you have a relationship with most of them. When you talk to them, ask them to get their hands off, or you notice that they travel, maybe you saw it at the corner of your eye and you didn't call it at that time. But then you let them know you are traveling on the board. You know, be careful, you're pushing, that kind of thing. When you do that, they actually tell you thanks. Most of them will say thanks and they will try to fix whatever it is that they are doing. Because again, for me, it comes back to facilitating the game. I hate to be in a game and 200 fouls are being called and the game just keeps going and going and you're not seeing that light at the end of the tunnel and people start to get bored. Because as we all know, nobody comes to us. Everybody wants to see the players. So for me, I use communication a lot and I encourage the other guys who represent me at the local level to talk to them, talk to the players, tell them. And most times you find that the game so well, you don't have that huge volume of fouls flowing the game down. So I think it's something that all of us have.
Exactly. And I know, I mean, we have refereed together on numerous occasions, and I know the level of your communication skills, and you're absolutely correct. You know, it's definitely great to develop a communication style, because when you're put in that situation, although like Vanessa said, you know, sometimes you go to countries and they don't speak English, but you know, that level of firmity, if you're firm, everybody understands, you know, everybody understands body language and when you're firm about that. I see John said he was trying to get on.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
In officiating games, we know that some coaches are not up to date with new rules, changes that come about. And I find myself that after a game, I tend to have a mini class because of of me going through the rules in the rule book, of showing the coaches. Would you consider that babying a coach, or do you consider that assisting the game?
You're assisting the game, and that's wonderful. I'll definitely tip my hat off to you, because sometimes coaches are not open to have that type of dialogue after the game, and it's very, very important, because we all have went through coaches, or have met up with numerous coaches that is not updated, don't have the current rules, and still have rules from 1984, so we have to take that time out to teach, and actually talk to coaches. During the game, like I said, during the game is very minimum, During the game is not time for a full-blown class. I'll give you an explanation as best as I could, quickly as possible, because the game still has to go on, And like I said, after the game is fine. After the game is absolutely perfect. But like here on St. Croix, we tell the coaches to, we meet every Sunday, and we go through rules and regulation and practice court work. And we tell them, hey, if you want to have a conversation about rules, come to our referee training, when all the referees are there, and we all can give you a direct and clean answer. So thank you for reaching out. Anyone else want to share their game management experience? I just saw Terrell. Where's Terrell? Terrell, talk to me about your game management experience. Where is she? She's still on?
She is.
Yeah. I saw her here. Jillian, come talk to us about your game management experience. Unmute that mic.
I can share my experience about okay. It said you're not allowing, okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. One moment. Allowing me to. I think talking really helps. And in listening to the video, one of the things when the referee said is how he liked to talk players out of situations. And like you keep stressing on it that we don't want to give the players or the coaches that early technical fault. Right? And that's when having basketball understanding, being able to interpret the rules, and most of all, having a patient whistle. And all it takes is just having a good personality. And one of the things that we have to remember is that maybe the coach is in a bad mood, and it has nothing to do with you as a referee. But you're not being in the correct position and making an incorrect call would kind of like add a little bit of fire to fire. And if he reacts, that's the perfect time for you to use your personality. And you try to calm the situation down. And listening to listening to the participant who was explaining about the coach and post the question in the group chat about the coach, these are things that you have to discuss in your pre-match meeting, okay? So your pre-game meeting, like you talk about how to deal with difficult coaches, especially when the game is tight. Right? Most of these situations are likely to happen when the game is tight. When the game is open, then the coaches are more relaxed. And one of our responsibilities as referees in managing the game is to ensure that the game is run smoothly so that all parties are relaxed. Okay, and if this situation is, would you say, has the potential to become unhealthy game, then it's important in the break, right? When there's a stoppage in the game and a timeout is the perfect opportunity for you to get to huddle with your partners and speak about the situation. And most of the times you will find that either the senior referee, the one with the most experience, or the crew chief, which should have experience, be the one to deal with it, you know, be the one to kind of like calm this coach down. If he already has a technical foul and there's a situation in the game where it has the potential to be his second technical foul, you're not scared, but it's always good when your other partner can give him that technical foul, because you don't want it to seem personal. It might not be personally directed towards you, but in the heat of the game, then we're humans and we would react, and that's where he might think that okay, like either the referee have something personal against me for giving me a second technical foul where he called a horrible call earlier in the game, and I asked him a question and he decided to like brush me off. Or that's my take on managing situations in my game.
Thank you very much, Jillian. I really appreciate your insight. Thank you for giving us that information. So, like I said, everyone, game management is based on experience. You know, if you can have an opportunity where you talk to experienced referee and learning the tricks of the trades, you know, because a lot of us learn based on trial, you know, and I always believe that if we had the opportunity to talk about it, you know, people could develop a better game management. I don't know if Frederick wants to say something before I close, but it was a delight to be here with you guys tonight to present on game management.
Kendall.
Yes, sir.
Yes, could you hold your parting shots for a little bit?
Oh, sure.
I know you was getting ready to make a beeline to the door. However, stand by. I think there's been great change in game management, particularly at the international level refereeing. Often referees, particularly those in the past, would often blame coaches, players, and even fans in some cases of not knowing the rules, etc., etc. However, on the other hand, coaches, we have disregarded the rules of coaching and what coaching is all about. And so coaches would say, man, you don't understand the game. You don't understand the heat of the moment. You do not understand the psychology of coaching and the psychology of playing. We often speak to the psychology of refereeing. But what about the psychology of coaching, etc., etc.? All right? To that end, FIBA has now changed its approach to providing learning sessions for referees. And they've added this area called basketball knowledge. And basketball knowledge, really, it's coaching 101. All right? What is a 5-0? How does a 5-0 affect you as a referee on the court? 5-0 is simply 5 offensive players beyond the 3-point line, and they're running their plays from that position. So what that's going to do, that's going to pull the defense out for any number of reasons, which may create a little bit more fouls, because if you have a good shooting team, then you're going to go into a one-on-one, And a one-on-one situation, you will create a little bit more fouling, a little bit more cutting to the basket. You have a 4-on-1, 4 out, 1 in. What is the characteristics and how does that affect refereeing? So what we are now doing is teaching referee about basketball knowledge so they can have a wonderful understanding of how the game is strategized by coaches. Yes, in the past, we've always dwelled on, coaches, players relationship. But in reality, the referees in the past never knew, I can't say never, but did not have a wonderful understanding of basketball knowledge. That's why sometimes it's important that referees go to coaching clinic. Sometimes it's important for them to go and do the table clinics, all right? And you get a whole of game approach, all right? And this is what's gonna set you apart, all right? And you're moving to what we term that elite status of having this information, knowledge, skills, and experience equals the confidence to call a game. Having the mindset and being ready to call the game because you understand the game from a holistic perspective. And having said that, if anybody else want to add to that, that's fine. But I'm going to pass it over to you, sir, so you can surmise and et cetera, et cetera.
I'm going to elaborate a little bit on what you said. And that's why when the opportunity came for me to take the level 1 coaching certification, I jumped to it. I wanted to see what coaches was thinking.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to be in the elements of a coach.
Yes, sir.
All about. So it's definitely important to take part in those clinics to understand the element that you're around, table officials, coaching, the philosophy of the game, it's very, very important. And I agree on everything that you touch bases on. And, that's why we're here. We're here to serve the game.
Yes,
we're here to serve the game. And I'd just like to thank Frederick Brown for allowing me to put on this new presentation tonight. I'm very looking forward to tomorrow's discussion. I want to tell you guys from now, tomorrow's discussion will be more of an open discussion. Since we'll have, I hope more coaches who is here tonight and will come back tomorrow, so we could have, to hear your insights, what you're looking for, from a referee, from a coaching standpoint, and hearing us as referees, what we're looking for from coaches as well. So tomorrow's discussion is going to definitely be a more open, round table discussion, and I would like to hear from a lot more of you. We need to get more familiarized with ourselves in the CBC. Not just when we come to tournaments. And Vanessa will tell you, Jillian will tell you, Frederick will tell you, we know each other before we came to tournaments. I mean, and after that we just kept in touch. We just kept in touch, and we're practically family. So we here in the CBC, we have to definitely stay in touch with each other. And with this new platform with the table officials, I hope it stays just like that. Keep in touch with everyone in the game of basketball. So on that note, I'd like to thank everyone for taking our time out of your busy day, for coming and joining us on this platform. See you guys tomorrow, same place, same time. The link will be the same. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kendall.
Alrighty. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.